In today's Leeds news, Radrizzani withdraws Inter Milan interest. Orta colleagues to part way. Leeds in search of a young manager. Leeds duo called up for World Cup duty. Ange Postecoglou on Leeds radar. And Charlie Cresswell a wanted man. Hiya folks, Jay here on Thursday the 11th of May with your Leeds news. Won't hang around, we'll get stuck into this. There is a press conference today. We are not going to cover the press conference because at the time of recording this, it's just too far away from it. So we might do a review before the game tomorrow. And tomorrow even we'll do a live stream before the match on Saturday. So if you wanted to see that, you can stick around. Let's crack on and get stuck into this. And we'll start with some short news and get this one out of the way. The Leeds United under-21 playoff final has been set. Leeds will play Nottingham Forest in the PL2 Division 2 playoff final against Nottingham Forest in Elland Road on the 15th of May with a 7 p.m. kickoff. There's no details about tickets just yet, but if you want to check that out, you can go over to leedsunited.com and have a look and see if there's any more details there on that one. Moving on, let's talk about Andrea Radrizzani. And there's been a lot of talk over the last recent months about his potential interest in moving away from Leeds and buying Inter Milan. It was referenced a couple of weeks ago that he, and along with a group of investors, were targeting a buyout of Inter Milan, and that he would rely heavily on the sale of Leeds United and the maximum output he can get from that in order to help fund that deal. Well, it's according to Inter Live, they're reporting that Radrizzani has now withdrawn his interest in buying Inter Milan. I would take that with a pinch of salt, being as it's the initial interest. The story came from Bloomberg. This withdrawal comes from Inter Live, which is like me saying Leeds are doing something. You know, I'd wait a bit. But what they are saying is that there was competition, and there is competition from a Qatari-based group as well. And it appears for now, with Leeds' situation the way it is, that Radrizzani has cooled his interest on Inter Milan and maybe sticking around. He may be sticking around. Anyway, speaking of other people who were close to Radrizzani, let's talk about Victor Orta. And according to the Yorkshire Evening Post, there are more exits expected to leave Leeds in the wake of Victor Orta's exit. In particular, two of the scouts that worked as part of his team, Gabi Ruiz and Alberto Cordero, are also expected to leave Leeds by the end of this season. Both men were pictured at the under-21 semi-final recently, but are expected to leave the club at the end of the season. They were heavily involved in Victor Orta's scouting team, and it looks like there will be a full shake-up of the scouting network and scouting team at Leeds United moving forward. So best luck to both of them in whatever they do at the end of the season. Moving on to one of the main stories, and it's the story around Leeds in search of a younger manager. And according to Fabrizio Romano, Leeds will be looking for a younger manager going into next season. He has basically said that he expects Sam Allardyce to leave Leeds regardless of Leeds' situation, whether they maintain their Premier League status or they lose it. He still expects Allardyce to leave. Romano, speaking on his Here We Go podcast, basically has said that he expects Leeds to move again in the summer for a new manager. And what he has said on this is the following: discussing other clubs is early with Leeds and many others. We have to wait till the end of the season. With Leeds, I am sure they are looking for a different manager, a younger manager for the future. Allardyce appears himself to be keen on staying on at Leeds. However, he did reference the condition of the current squad, and it's fit for purpose for the Premier League, as well as the recruitment that's been done recently as well. So there will be changes needed in recruitment and in playing staff for Allardyce to maintain his interest in staying on at Leeds into next season, should he keep Leeds in the Premier Division. Real briefly, didn't put this with the headlines, but people are asking about it, the Marcelo Bielsa stuff. Give you the quick background on this. Rumors came up about Bielsa being contacted by the 49ers, came up on fan forums yesterday. There's no legitimate connection here. There's no proper source, but basically all it said was that the 49ers have reached out to Bielsa to take over Leeds again going forward, full backing from them on whatever he needs to take the job. However, let's be real about this. Bielsa has already negotiated a contract with Uruguay's national side, and the legalities and all the paperwork is all done and dusted. And Bielsa is expected in Uruguay this week to sign that deal. So that's not happening. Just to get it out of the way. It's not a story. It's a nothing. Just get it out of the way. Moving on, let's have a bit of good news. And Leeds duo Matteo Joseph and Darko JB have been called up to the England under-20 squad for the upcoming World Cup. Both players have had fantastic seasons playing for Leeds United under-21s, and Darko JB has captained the England under-19s team at points this season, as well as Matteo Joseph making his England under-20 debut this year as well. Matteo Joseph has been the Leeds captain for the under-21 side for the vast majority of this season as well, and both men are being rewarded for very good seasons by being called up to the international team, and I wish the two of them the best luck in that tournament. It's great to see both there. Bearing in mind, Leeds are not in the top division of the under-21 division. It's an even bigger, I suppose, validation of their abilities and skill levels that they're getting called into the squad from a second division. So great to see them. Moving on, then let's talk about the manager stuff. Is all the stuff today. So Ange Postecoglou is the next one on the list, and according to the Yorkshire Evening Post, Leeds are keeping an eye on Postecoglou's situation at Celtic. Postecoglou does work off a 12-month rolling contract. Sounds similar to somebody at Celtic, and has won 5 trophies in his first 2 years at Celtic, and is expected to win another one this year as well, with the cup coming up as well. According to transfer insider Peter O'Rourke, the Australian is one of the names that is very high on the list that Leeds want. Postecoglou does play an incredibly attacking style of football. It's a very attractive style of football. I watch an awful lot of Celtics games, and I can tell you they're usually very, very enjoyable. And he has got an eye for some players as well. Rio Hatate, Kyogo, being two of my personal favourites from the Celtic side. You talk about energy, work rate, and effort from those two specifically would be excellent. I'd love to see both of them at Leeds. Love to see them. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. But there's a lot of talk about new manager stuff, and we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. And then moving on finally to the last story, a lot of stuff today. The last story of the day, and according to the Mirror, Leeds United's Charlie Cresswell has interest from mainland Europe. Cresswell's had a fantastic second half of the season on loan at Millwall, really established himself as a leader, a goal-scoring centre-back, and an absolute rock at the back for Millwall in their hunt for playoffs. Unfortunately, Cresswell did suffer a broken eye socket, which ruled him out of the remainder of the season, and it appears that might have derailed Millwall's playoff chances, with them just missing out on the playoffs in the last couple of weeks. Cresswell has 1 year left on his contract, according to his agent Hayden Evans, who said that on the recent Square Ball podcast that he was on. However, the Mirror are stating that there's a 2-year contract there. Now, that could be an automatic 1-year extension that Leeds can activate, or it could just be a misprint. But they're saying it's 2 years left, and that several Bundesliga clubs are keeping an eye on the player. It doesn't name which Bundesliga club, so it's the Mirror. So massive pinch of salt with that. But it's not surprising to be interested in Charlie Cresswell after the season he's had, So that's pretty much it for today, folks. Enjoy the press conference. I'm sure there'll be a couple of headlines or two, and I will see you back here tomorrow morning for the fallout from that, and a Leeds preview, as well as whatever other news is going around tomorrow. We are 25 people off 10,000 subscribers. Be great to hit that by the weekend. Just asking. Anyway, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for watching, as always, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.